I will request you to open your Overleaf. Okay, create a blank project and just give the main.tech name of that particular main file. Open your Overleaf account and create a new project, a blank project. Say for example, cross referencing demo. Okay, so this will automatically come, and here what you have to do, you just write your name, give the name cross referencing demo. Okay, so and change this article as report. Okay, why report? Because we will use chapter, part, everything in this example. So in this case, it will help you to write or add part or chapter. In case of article, there are only, this starts from section. You can add chapter, but that gives a different loop. So now if you run the same page, say cross-referencing demo, and it starts from here. Now what you have to do here, you have to create this part, give part 1 plus chapter 1, this section 1, chapter 2, part 2. So, 3, chapter 4. So just with this set of, and also create some more sections. Section 2. Okay, and here also you will have few more sections. Section 1, section 2, section 3, and inside part 2 you will have section 1, section 2, and I will mainly concentrate on this part 1 and chapter 1. So inside section 1 I will create subsection 1, section 2. So you create this kind of things, and now for labeling, as I said, each and every component can have a label. So here you give label LABEL, and you enter with that hints, first hint, and then give PRT and then write 1, or you can just write 1. Okay, similarly for the remaining parts, that is part 2, to give and give name 2. Okay, and for chapter also, what I said, to give label starting with ch colon and then give 1. For section it is label sec colon 1 1. So plus label is subsec 1. Just 1 1. Create this one is a subsection. Okay. Section 1. Subsec 1 1 3 1 4 1. And this is just for a demo. I will show you main examples which have meaningful names, which will be much easier for you to understand that how the name has been given. So sec is 1 2. So now if you run this same set of code, so see in this document you have the title page, and then you have part 1. In this part 1 you have chapter. Okay, you have chapter 1. Inside chapter 1 you have sections, section 1, subsection 1, subsection 1, so like this. And then you have chapter 2, the chapter 2 title of the chapter. This one is the title. So just to distinguish this, I can write this one, title chapter 1, and then in chapter 2. And then if I run, yeah, okay, so you have sections, and then you have part 2, and then inside part 2 you have chapter 3, and then inside chapter 3 you have different sections. So I've just given few levels of these chapters and sections. Now coming to the real examples which I want to show you. Overleaf. Now some of you may want to use your own local system. Okay, that you also can do. And in that case, if you face any problem, just let me know that you are having this problem. This is a complex document. Don't look at the complexity, just look at the output. What is present inside this document? You have a title page. Okay, you have a title page here. Okay, and corresponding author is given, the date is given. Then you have a content. You know how to create content? Write this table of content command. Okay, if it is not explained, it is table of content command will give you just easily will generate this part. Okay, and by giving this you will not get this hyperlinking. Like hyperlinking means if you click introduction it will immediately go to introduction, but by merely giving this table of content command will not help you to make this hyperlinking. Okay, how to do that we'll see very soon. So what happened here, what is present here, you have a content part. Inside this content you can see in this document we have 3 parts: part 1, first part; second one, second part; third one, the last part. Okay, and inside the first part you have introduction and background knowledge. Inside the second part, you have nothing. Actually, the components have been commented, and then in the third part you have cross referencing examples, the chapter, and the fourth chapter, that is conclusion. Bibliography is present, and it is given like this. Okay, so how to do that? Here, when you are writing a big document, to manage this big document, what I will suggest you to subdivide your document or subdivide your write up in small text file. Like for example, introduction will be present here in the introduction text file, and inside this introduction text file you start with chapter, introduction, label, chap ch colon introduction. Okay, these labels are case sensitive. If you give capital letter or small letter, you must follow the small letter or capital letter, the same name or same cases when you are referring it. Okay, so don't give a capital I, and don't try to write or don't try to refer the chapter this chapter introduction by using small I. Okay, this is very case sensitive language, so you follow the cases as it is written. Now, so this is the first part, introduction. So next part is background knowledge. So there is another sixth chapter that is called background knowledge, and here I have written this background knowledge and the label ch colon background. Now, if I go to the another part chapter, that is cross referencing example, where I have given all those examples, that is the application dot tech. Here you will see that I have given the name cross referencing example, and the label is given ch application. That means the title name and the label name can be totally different. That there is no relation between the title name, the label name, and the chapter name. First, we will try to so when, as I said in the previous document, that you have a part and the label is PRT colon 1. So similarly, in this document, in this example document, I have also different parts have been created here. Okay, and that can be seen here in the main text file. So what is present in this complex document? I have a main file that is called main.text. Okay, I have tried to write all my components, all my writing in this simple main.text file. As it grows, okay, as the introduction grows little bit longer, I have collected all the introduction part, copied it, and pasted it into this introduction .text. Again, if my background part grows little bit longer, I have collected it, I have put it into the background.text. Also, you can follow the same procedure from the beginning. You just create different file and start writing the corresponding content in the corresponding file. Okay, so this part, like for example, this is the abstract. Like I want to create a separate file for this abstract. So I will cut this abstract portion. Before that, what I will do, I will create a new file that is called abstract.text. We'll create a text file inside this section heading, and if you want to like create it outside the text, outside this any folder, then what you have to do, you can just drag and drop. Okay, it will automatically come outside this folder. Yeah, outside this folder. And if you want to put it inside this in any folder, you can immediately you can just drag and drop, it will automatically come into this into that particular folder. Now I will cut this portion, I will cut it, I will paste it here, and we'll give a suitable name or meaningful name or meaningful label, that is ch colon apps. Okay, and I have to, after creating this extra text file, I have to include it into this main document from where I have collected the content. So here there are different ways to include the components. So I will create input, or I will use input. There is another command that is called include, that you can also use. But different component command will give you different outputs. Include will give you one way of displaying the content, and input will give you another way of displaying the content. So if you just type it, it will show you all the components you have already written. Now you want to put this abstract here. Okay, so section abstract you have mentioned here without any extension, that dot tech or dot b or dot any other file extension, whatever present in latex documents or latex files. You don't have to write here, you just give without any extension or file extension. Okay, now if you run it, it will give you same output. Abstract is here, so it will take some time because it is a little bit large document, and then it will disappear, and again when it will come, then if modified output is displaying here. Now the next thing is go to the chapter where I have all the components or the examples. So say for example in this document, if you look at the main document text file, then you will see that application is in the last part. Okay, if so, I may want to refer some components which is present at the beginning or at the middle of the document, or I want to mention some part that in this part these things has been explained. So how to do that? So say for example here I have written that an object-based storage system or blah blah blah, whatever it is written here, that needs to be deployed on machine, and it is explained in part 1. So or say part, what is the name of that part? You just look at that, part 1. So you want to write it there, the same part. So you write part 1, and if you run the document or if you save the document, it will automatically compile it. And this 2 arrow, just for your information, this arrow will go to the this location of this in the document, and this arrow will go to the code location of this portion. So if I click here, it will go to the first part location in the code, and if I click here, it will go to the document where this sentence is present. So I will click this one, and it will automatically go to the document page. So see, it is written that on machine explained in part 1. Okay, so if I click on part 1, so here I have tried to use one package, okay, that is called hyperref. You have to use this hyperref package. If you have any URL in the document like this one, it will be in cyan color. You can give your own color. And PDF title, cross-referencing example, PDF page mode, full screen. So these are some of the options. For more option, you can look at this hyperref package. There are many options actually available for this hyperref or hyperlinking. Important point, all these things you have to write before this begin document, okay, and you have to use this inside this begin document, but you have to mention this inside the outside this begin document or before the begin document command, and after this document class. So see, if you look at my document, all these packages, whichever I have imported or I have included here, it is after this begin document, after this document class command, and before this begin document command, okay, or the environment, document environment it is called. Why I have used this this blind text command or blind text package? Because there is, that lorem ipsum text. You don't have to type many things for just for demo purpose or for experiment purpose. You just copy this piece of text multiple times in your document. It will give you a kind of document kind of visibility to your document or to your articles. So for that, what thing you have to use? Yeah. So you have to use this blind text command. So for example, I have created a paragraph called example paragraph, and I have written this blind text. So how it will be seen? This will be seen like this. So if you want to insert some citations, okay, so you copy this part, you create another paragraph here, okay, and then so here you give ref, and then say write something like part. So there are part, last part, you can write it like this, or yeah, anything you want to ask? So here, say for example, you want to cite chapter. Okay, there is a way you have to write a sentence like that way. Like for example, an oil exploration company is shown in table, okay, tab ONG. Here you can give underscore, or I will ask you to don't give underscore, because underscore will sometimes will give you error when you run the code. So better to use colon like this. Okay, but since it is given underscore, I am using underscore, else it will give a lot of error again. So now I want to refer some chapter. So you have to use chap ch, and then for example the background, and then you refer some section. So write sec, and then all the sections are given here, sections, subsections, everything whatever is starting with s is given here. So for example, that's just giving this one. What will happen in the Outlook? Yeah, see, the part 3 is written. So as I said, these numbers will be automatically generated, but not the object. So if you want to that this is a part, so you have to write the component or the object type. This is the chapter, so you have to write chapter like this. Okay, here you have to write section. Then these things will come. This section, not the as I said, this is semi-dynamic. So numbers will be automatically generated, but not whether this number belongs to a chapter or a part or a section, that will not come automatically. So see now part 3, since this section is having problems, so there is another things to mention. If this section you have written is not available for the moment, this will come with a question mark. That means either the section is not available or the section is spelled differently. So check the spelling. So these things, these question marks have different meaning depending on the situation. If you have not mentioned this level, then it will be a question mark here. If you mention these things, like for example, instead of F, you have written E, CES. So in that case, it will come as a question mark. Okay, so question mark means there is a problem. You check the level. Chapter, part, sections, everything is done. So I hope you can cross-ref part, chapter, section, subsection, paragraph, all these things. For paragraph, you can write paragraph. You can use paragraph command like section, subsection. You have to use paragraph command, and for sub paragraph, you have to use sub paragraph. Okay. Now, if you look at the content of this document, how this thing looks like, that can be seen here. Yeah. So see, in this chapter, in this part, you have a cross-referencing chapter. Under this, you have this sections. Okay, media and entertainment, financial service, and challenges, opportunities, and future scope. And inside that sections, you have subsections. And if you want to, so this is the simplest way to write table of content, but you can mention the depth and all these things. There are options under this table of content which you can modify or which you can mention when you are writing this table of content. And this depth, that means uh, chapter, section, subsection, that can go beyond that. Maybe subsection, maybe sorry, chapter, section, subsection, subsection, or subsection, paragraph, subparagraph. This can go like this way. Okay, and the number can be mentioned in such a way. So coming to this cross-referencing example, if I command this hyperref package, that means if I delete from the document, okay, okay, and if I try to compile it, there will be no problem with the document as such. But the thing is, these links will not be visible anymore. This will be as it is a part 1, table 3.1 or page 11 like this, but the links will be, the hyperlinking will be gone. See here, there is no hyperlinking is present in the document. Okay, so to use hyperlinking, you can write hyperref. You don't have to write all these options. And if you run this, the color option and other options will be the default will be used as the default values will be used here. But if you want to use your own value, you can change the parameters as it is some of the parameter mentioned here. Okay, see, it is a red rectangle kind of things is coming. It is coming in its own way. So if you can go to part 1 and see all these things are coming like this. So the blue color, red color, all these comings. So blue color are for bibliography and red color is for cross-referencing. That way you can differentiate here in this document. Coming to the next component, that is image and table and equation. If you want to cross-ref these components, how you have to do that. For example, you have written an equation. You have written an equation, and a very small equation is written like this. Yeah. Okay. And you want to give a label so that you can mention that this equation explains something like this or that kind of things. So you give a label EQ1, and then you write equation ref EQ1, whatever the label you have given here is a typical power series. Another example of same equation referring the EQ ref. So here it is EQ ref, here it is ref. So if what happened in both the cases, when you use ref and the level of an equation, and when you use EQ ref and use the level of the equation, then what is the difference between the output? So see here it is 3.1 and here it is 3.1. Both the numbers are same. But the thing is, if you use EQ ref, this equation number will come inside this first bracket. Okay, but if you use ref, then that first bracket is not appearing here. So you have seen that many different outputs of these levels. So if you want this kind of output equation, and then in first bracket you have to write this equation number, then you have to use eqref. But that is also possible here manually, like this you can do that. Okay, and but automatically if you want that, you can use, in that case you can use eqref. So now if I run it, now in this case, see, both the output are same. Okay, but yeah, both the output are same. But if you want automatic output of these brackets, you can use eqref, and if you want the normal output, you can use ref. Okay, so that is about referring equation. Now for example, the table. Okay, so I hope you know how to create table. So you can create a table. Now here, to mention for the cross references, in case of table you have two environment. One is the table environment, another one is the tabular environment. Okay, if you want to give a label or caption, you have two places to give that. One is here between this table and tabular environment. You can write it here, or at the beginning, or you can write it at the end. Okay, so if I want to write it at the end, what will happen in case of that? If you write at the beginning or if you write at the end, for the cross referencing there is no problem, but for the output there is a problem. For the output, if you write at the top, it will come at the top. If you write at the bottom, this table title will come at the bottom. Okay, but for cross referencing, you can write your label here, or you can write your label here. In both places it will work as it should work. Okay, so this is labeling the table. Now if you want to give the or if you want to refer this table in the text, what you have to do, you just write table and ref and the name of the table, and it will work. So if I give a table name tab colon app, so I have to modify this one also, tab colon app, and then if I run it, this table 3.1, that means chapter 3 table 1 will come in the text. But if you don't write table, only the number is, so if just, okay, let it come. Okay, so if I don't write table, what will happen? For fully dynamic uh, cross referencing, it should identify that this is a table, but that will not be the case here. So if you write this, if you write this and if you run it, only the number will come, but not the the type of object it is will not mention here. So only 3.1. Whether this 3.1 belongs to section or table or figure or any or equation, that is not mentioned here. Okay, so for that you have to specifically write. You have to write specifically write that name of the object. Okay. Next thing is the page reference. That page ref, as I said, that ref and page ref can be used for referring the components. Ref for the all other, as you have seen, for paragraph, table, equation, and all. For page ref, what you can do, you just say, for example, you want to give a page of this page number of these things. Okay, that this part is explained in this page instead of in this section, in this chapter, like this. So what you have to do, you just have to place a that particular component and use the page ref, a particular label, and use the page ref. So wherever this chapter is present from that page, that page number will be present here. So if I go to this page 11, so see, I have given the chapter background. That means wherever this chapter background is starting, that page number will be displayed here. If you want to give a section, for example, or an image for this figure, so you have to give the level of this figure here, but you have to give the page ref instead of ref. If you give ref, then what will happen? It will come, this figure number will be appeared. But if you give page ref and if you write the figure level, then the page number of this figure will appear here. So what happened for figure? Figure is actually placed inside the figure environment. Similar to table, either you can write this caption and label before the end of the figure or after the beginning of the figure. Okay, you can write also in this, sorry, you can also write here also. Okay, but it is always suggest for the figure to write at the bottom and for the table at the top. Okay, but depending on the different journal or different publishing house, they follow different syntax for this, and you have to follow their syntax and you have to place the component as per their template. So here, after mentioning the source or mentioning the include graphics command for the particular image and write the caption for that particular image, now you write the label just like the you have given the label for chapter, part, or any other components. You have to give the same label command for figure, and you have to write it with the fig prefixes, and then write the name of that or the name of or the label of that particular figure. So fig colon architecture is written here, and now you can write or you can use this label to cross-ref this image. Okay, so for example, a generalized architecture is schematically present in fig architecture. You can also use this one in some other section, like for example in application you can write that the most used storage system in each of the sector ticked in the table in the image, say better in the figure, and slash ref, and then write this component. And if you don't write this, see slash ref fig, and then all those figures whatever you have mentioned here in this particular file will actually appear, but this figure level is actually appeared in some other file, other text file, so that's why this is not showing here. But in some cases, maybe in your local machine, that is possible to see all the levels in whatever you have mentioned in different files, but for the same project can be visible from anywhere, wherever you want to cite or you want to refer that particular object. If I run this, so the example instances where it is here. So ticked in figure 2.1. You are explaining in chapter 3 and you are referring a component or an object from chapter 2. Okay. Now I am uncommenting that hyperref package. It is uncommented. So yeah, all this options whichever I have given for the better outlook. Okay, so that I can see clearly the numbers. So how you can write page or how you can refer any particular page, equation, figure, table, and other components are clear. Now coming to the footnote. Okay, that how you can refer a footnote or write labels or give labels in a footnote. So for footnote, say you know that for footnote you have to use footnote command, and inside the bracket you have to give the text which you want to appear as a footnote. here I want to give a link or a URL for appearing in the footnote of that particular page. Okay, so I have written this URL here. Now I am writing the label inside the second bracket before writing the content of that footnote. Okay, label FN and the name of the label, name of the footnote. So that's just for example, it is a 21. Okay, now for if you want to display this footnote, how it will display it? It will display something like this. Okay, that an audio file present in this link can be written. So that's the way you can write footnote. Now, if you want to cite this footnote, or if you want to refer this footnote again in somewhere in the document, so what you can do, you write, say for example here, in footnote plus ref fn 21. Okay, and then run it. So it is R&D industry. So here, so it is R&D industry deals with enormous volume of data owing to its research related activities in footnote 1. So this footnote 1 will appear in other pages, but also you can refer it here. Okay. Now, giving a hyperlink to a particular content, okay, with a particular web source or a particular web URL. So what you can do, you can use href instead of ref, page ref, or eqref. You have another command that is href. So if you use href, then you have to give two information. First one is the URL, and the second one is the text you want to mention for that URL. So for example, here this scalatering, that is also one kind of referencing, cross-referencing, but instead of giving the references to the same document, here you are giving the references of a web page. Okay, so that is also called cross-referencing of a content of an information. So this scalatering, if you click here, instead of jumping to that particular page, it will open a link or open an URL as mentioned in the document. Another thing is this footnote that instead of giving this hyperreferencing and hyperreferencing directly to that particular link or the particular URL, that you can use by using /URL command. Okay, /URL will give you that this information is actually part of a URL. So /URL you can use for making it hyperlink, or you can use href to make a text with a hyperlink for a URL, for an URL. Now coming to the another components, that is sentence word referencing using hyper target or hyperlink. Okay, so that means you so here, say for example, you want to instead of particular objects like table, figure, image, and other thing whatever I have mentioned, you want to give a label to a particular text present in your document. Okay, so in that case, what you can do, you can use hyper target and hyper link to command instead of href or ref or page ref, all these things. If you want to specifically mention a particular phrase or particular sentence, then you can use this hyper target command. So by using this hyper target command inside this oil and gas, okay, in this oil and gas, this label has been given and the name of the label is send word link. So that means it will link to that particular word or particular phrase or particular sentence. Okay, and this will be used in any portion of your document. Okay, for example, for that you have to use hyperlink. So check where hyperlink is mentioned. Yeah, in this table. So here in this table I have given oil and gas. So if you directly want to go to this particular section or subsection to see what is written here, so that you can understand that there is no tick mark is present, so you click here, it will directly come to this place. Since it is only one line in this subsection, you will feel that why you need this. You can directly go to this section or subsection by just giving a label inside this section or subsection. But if there are multiple lines, a lot of line present, say for example here, and inside this paragraph there is a sentence, and you want to hyperlink that a particular sentence, in that case you can use this hyperlink command and hyper target command. Target is used to identify the target, and link is used to give the link from where you want to jump to that particular target. Okay, so here this link is given here. The target is given in this. Target is given here, and link is given here when you are writing this source code of this table. Okay, so until for this semi-dynamic, what you can use, I have used that AMS math and hyperref package for cross-referencing, but there are many other packages like cleverref, smartref, fancyref, prettyref. All these packages you can use to get more beautiful outlook of the cross references or the numbers, whatever you are using.